I guess my question, it's very hard to find a lot of information on repatriation because I do know that it's a very sacred ceremony and it's very private. But I wonder, are all ceremonies as private as repatriation is? Because I know you don't want anybody else there, which is completely respectable. I just didn't know if all of them, if all Tuscarora ceremonies were treated the same way.
Repatriation itself is not private. It's not a ceremony. It's a process by which the government has told those agencies that have things that are ours, whether they're human remains, whether they're items from funerals, or whether they're sacred objects. If you have that in your collections and we request it back, they have to give it back. That's federal law.
So repatriation is just the term for
yes,
the federal process. Okay.
The part that would be private is when we get it back, what we do with it.
Okay.
And we don't intend to put things back in museums. We intend to put them either, if they're sacred, if they're used in ceremony, they'll be returned to where people can properly care for them and put in ceremony. And those are, they've got ceremonies going on. We don't have a longhouse where they have the ceremonies at Tuscarora, but we have people that belong to the societies or belong to, and go to the longhouses in the communities to do those ceremonies. The burial ceremony it will be private, that part, but as far as repatriation, that is not a ceremony. That is not our ceremony. That is your federal law that says you have to do it.
In fact, one of the things that we learned today in talking about repatriation is that if when the request comes from the Tuscarora Nation to repatriate items, the East Carolina will have to post in the Federal Register publicly that the request has been made. And if I understood it correctly, it described the items that are to be returned. Not item by item by item, but generically, human remains. I don't know about whether they specify volume or whatever, but it will be published, that part of it, in the Federal Register. Sorry to intervene. I've been learning all day, and I've been learning that I don't know.